welcome back to Jana's Journey. I finally thought of a name for my channel. Let me know if you guys like it. Either way, it's probably staying, so don't let me know if you don't like it. So I was doing that live video last night and it gave me an idea of what to talk about today. I have to make this while I'm driving home because I literally never have time once my baby's really sick. So I know as soon as I get home, my husband's with him right now, I'm gonna have to tend to him, which is fine, but I don't even know if I'll have time to make a video tonight when I get home. So, yeah, you guys wanted to know about my recovery story a little bit, so I will talk about how I got the help that I so desperately needed. So I started drinking and doing drugs, just like weed and stuff like that, in high school when I was 17. I wasn't very smart about it because I should have known what I was getting myself into, because my dad's an alcoholic, you know, runs on both sides of my mom and dad's family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, like literally everyone in my family is an addict or alcoholic of something. Or alcoholic or addict of something. They're addicted to something in some way or some form. We're all addicts, okay? We're the happy addict family. So I should have known what I was getting myself into, but I didn't because I was stupid and wanted to fit in. Honestly, a lot of it was just pure pressure. Like, I had friends that I knew were stoners, and I was like, I want to know what it's like to get high. And I went to parties and I would drink just to fit in. Like, I didn't even care. Like, I didn't like the taste of alcohol. But then once I finally got drunk for the first time, I was like, wow, and that's when I became an alcoholic. So then that went on for a couple years, and I went off to college, and it got really, really bad in college. I lived in this, like, you know, ghetto apartment complex, and everyone there was like doing drugs and drinking, and I was going to parties almost every night, staying up all night, sleeping all day, because I had a month before school started, and I just couldn't stop drinking. I was doing certain pills. I mean, I won't go into like detail because I don't want to trigger anyone, and it honestly doesn't matter. Like, a drug is a drug is a drug. Alcohol is a drug, weed is a drug, pills are drugs, opiates, uppers, downers, whatever, they're all drugs. And I don't feel like I need to go into specifics of what drugs I did, just because it doesn't matter. What matters is I got help. And so that's what I want to get to, is how I got help, because it was literally crazy and like such a God thing how it happened. Like, I don't know if all of you believe in God or not. I believe in God. He is my higher power. I believe in Jesus Christ. He is also my higher power. So what happened was, I was in college. It was winter semester. I was still, you know, really deep into my addiction. I had actually attempted suicide a couple times. I was miserable, depressed, in like the darkest, the lowest of lows, like rock bottom, over and over and over again. So what happened was, I was taking an English class, and I think I was actually retaking it because I failed it the previous semester. So I'm taking this English class, and for our final paper, it had to be a research paper, and we could pick whatever topic we wanted to pick to do the research paper on. And at the time, I thought I had a sleep disorder. That was all I could think of. Like, oh, I have a sleep disorder because I'm always tired, I'll have energy. Guess what? The drugs and the drinking and the staying out late was affecting my sleep. Not a sleep disorder, but so I was researching sleep disorders, and I couldn't find that many interesting articles, or I couldn't find enough to write my paper. And the rough draft was due, and I was freaking out because I was like, I don't feel good about this topic. And then something inside of me, which I now know was the Holy Spirit, at the time I would have never accredited it to that, told me to do a research paper on bipolar disorder. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, because my dad is bipolar, my brother is, it runs in my family. I wanted to learn more about it because I was pretty sure I am too, but we'll get to that later. So I was like, yeah. So I found all these articles about bipolar. I learned so much about it. I wrote this amazing paper. I turned it in. I got an A. I was like, cool, semester was over, whatever. And then I was like sitting in my room, and it was like student housing, and I was like, man, like, what if I am bipolar? So I'm looking up on YouTube, of all places, YouTube videos of other people that are bipolar, and I was listening to their experience with it, and I related to a lot of it. I was like, okay, so I'm probably bipolar, so I need to go see a psychiatrist so I can be put on drugs, right? Any excuse to be on more drugs. So I'm Googling on my laptop, just just psychiatrists in the area, but then psychologists come up, and then treatment centers come up, and rehabs, and I'm like, okay, like, why is this popping up? Like, I'm not going to a freaking rehab. But this one just like stood out to me. Like, my eyes and my heart and my soul were just drawn to this treatment center, and it was in a city I had never heard of. So I was like, but I clicked on it, and it said, you know, we have therapists that specialize in bipolar and blah 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 blah, depression, anxiety, all this stuff that at the time I was like, yeah, I probably have that, but I also had more problems that I didn't know about yet. So I click on it, and I send them an email, and I also did this to several other places. I sent them like, you know, I'd like to learn more, let me set up a free consultation type thing. But I only heard back from that one place. That one place literally called me the next day, and one of the workers there was like, hey Jana, and he said, hi, so I got your email, sounds like you want to learn more about bipolar and depression. I was like, yeah. He's like, well, you know, we do specialize in drugs and alcohol and addictions. Do you have any addictions? And I was like, well, I mean, I smoke pot like every day, and I drink sometimes. He's like, you know, a lot of people don't think that marijuana is that bad. They don't think that it's a problem, that it's a drug. But let me tell you, it ruined my life, and it can ruin yours too. And it is very addictive. And if you are an addict, that can destroy you. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'd love to come meet with you guys just to see if this place is right for me. So that was like on a Friday or Saturday night, and I set up for Monday. I went in on Monday. I sat down with the main social worker there, and he's just like, tell me about yourself. So I told him my whole life story, which I will tell you guys later, not in this video because this video is already getting long. I told him my whole life story, all the abuse I've been through, what my family's like, what kind of drugs I did, how often I drank, and he just said, you know what? I talked for like an hour, and this wonderful man who is still my therapist to this day, he looked at me after I was done talking. He said, you know what, Jana? I think this is the place for you, and I know we can help you. And I was just like, okay. But like, part of me was like, hell no. This means I have to stop taking my pills. This means I can't drink. This means I can't smoke weed. Like, what the frick kind of place is this? Like, they want to take that away from me. But then another part of me, which I also now know was the Holy Spirit, was like, just do it. Don't even think about it. I have chills right now just thinking about it. It was like, just do it. Just give it a shot. You know, and if you hate it, you can stop. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, I will try this out. Hold on, I'm parking my car, and then I can actually make better eye contact with you guys. Okay, so that was on a Monday when I met with him, and that Monday night was actually group, because group was, I'm trying to get good lighting here. Dude, come on. Okay. The rehab met every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night for 3 hours from 6 to 9 p.m. So it was outpatient rehab for people struggling with addictions. And I said, okay, look, why don't I just give it a shot tonight? So I went that night, and the feeling I got there was just peace and happiness, something I hadn't felt in months or years. And I'm sitting in that room with these other people who are struggling with all these other types of addictions. And I'm like, these are my brothers and sisters. Like, this is my new family. And it just felt right. And something special about this rehab was they'd pray. We'd begin and end each meeting with a prayer. We would talk about God and Jesus. You didn't have to be Christian to go there, but it definitely helped because of how often we would talk about Jesus. And I had never understood, you know, the atonement of Jesus Christ, Christ's grace, forgiveness, repenting. It never clicked with me. But this place really made it click that I actually could be forgiven of all my sins and that I actually could be a changed person. Like, it gave me faith and hope, and over time it took away my desire to use drugs. I went home from group that night or the next night, and I flushed all my pills down the toilet. I threw all my paraphernalia out the window when I was driving on the freeway with my sister. I was becoming a changed person, and it was scary, you guys. It was scary, and I know how hard it is to give up drugs and alcohol and eating disorders, which, by the way, I didn't even know I had eating disorder until I started rehab there. That was another blessing of me going there, was I was able to talk about, so in high school, I thought I was fat, but I wasn't. I was super skinny, and I starved myself because I had a boyfriend who called me fat, which I will also do a video all about that. I had he was abusive physically. He would hurt me physically, verbally. He was just rude. And anyways, and that was really hard to talk about too. Like, I had never told anyone about that abusive relationship that I was in. This place changed my life, you guys. I went there for 9 months. They tell you, oh, it's just a 3-month program, but no one ever finishes in 3 months because there's so much to do and so much to learn. Oh my gosh, I have binders just filled with stuff I learned about addiction. Like, I could talk about addiction forever. It's like one of the most fascinating subjects to me. And I found myself again, like, slowly. It didn't happen right away. Like, the beginning was still a struggle. I was still smoking cigarettes, which, by the way, I smoked cigarettes for 2 years, and I relapsed again a couple years after that, but I've been clean from cigarettes for a while. Anyways, yeah, I used to struggle with smoking, and they helped me quit smoking, and they helped me have more self-worth. I used to sleep with every man I would see on college campus that I thought was cute. They taught me that that's not normal. Just because you think someone's cute and you want their love and attention and affection, you don't have to have sex with them. I learned a lot, and I was 19 years old. I turned 20 a few months into rehab, so I was 20 years old. And and it was hard because I was like, wait, so I'm going to turn 21 next year, and I'm not going to be able to drink on my 21st birthday even though I'll finally be legal? And like, I had to accept that. But guess what? When that birthday came around the next year, I was so proud of myself for staying sober that day. So December 17th, 2012 was my first day of rehab, and I never relapsed since then on drugs or alcohol. I have relapsed on other addictions I have, like my eating disorder and other things, cigarettes. But the fact that an alcoholic like me, a drug addict like me, at 19 years old could get and stay sober because I got help, I would not have been able to do it, you guys, without that rehab. So if any of you are struggling, like, just get help. I know it sucks because you're like, man, what if I never feel that wonderful feeling of being high or drunk again? Guess what? There are better feelings out there. Like, way happier, more genuine, true joy feelings from just loving your friends and family and being honest. That's one of the very first things I had to work on, because I was a liar, a cheater, a stealer. I would shoplift, I would steal money from family, friends, whatever. Like, I was not a good person. I'm a good person deep down, but I was not making good choices. And I hated myself. Like, I did not want to live. I self-harmed a lot. But like, getting the help I needed, the therapy I needed, the treatment I needed, and to this day, which, it's been almost 7 years, I still go to a meeting at least once a week, a 12-step meeting, because I need it, because I'm still an addict. I'm still an alcoholic. Once an addict, always an addict. And it's some serious stuff, you guys, and it's scary, but like, it needs to be addressed, and your life will be like a million, jillion, zillion times better if you get help. Because I promise you, my life is so much better. It's hard. My life is hard, and hard things happen and come up. But I am happy. I'm genuinely happy. I have joy being sober. I did not have joy when I was drunk and high and sleeping around. There was no joy in that. And it's hard for me to say these things. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. But like, those were the choices I made because my disease let me get to that point. So, yeah, that's a little bit of my story about my recovery and my journey, Gianna's journey. So thank you for listening. I hope and pray that any of you that are struggling reach out, whether it's therapy, treatment, meetings, like, just do something. There is a huge, huge community of people who are struggling with the exact same things as you. And all it takes is maybe a little bit of time on Google to find the help you need, like what I had to do. So thank you for listening to my story. I hope this helps somebody. If not, it was nice for me to get it off my chest again. And leave any questions you have in the comments, because I really want to do a Q&A coming up. So on this video, please just leave me a question. It can be about anything in my life, my baby, my husband, my life, my journey, my recovery, whatever you want to know. I will try to answer your questions. And honestly, I'm an open book. Like, I'll talk about anything in my life. I'll try not to like disclose personal information about other people's lives, but unless they say I can. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching my journey. Okay, bye.